Alrighty guys, welcome to another video. Today we are going to be going over how to make your PC faster. So all of these tips are free except for one that I'm going to go ahead and give at the end, but that's not a download or anything. It's just something that is a nice hardware upgrade that I can recommend to a certain group of people. So if you just watch till the end, you can go ahead and hear about that one, but otherwise feel free to just watch all these free tips. And I am going to be going over how to make your computer faster without spending a dime. So first, what we're going to go over is these startup apps. So what we can do there is just hit Control-Shift-Escape on the keyboard all at the same time, and that'll open up the task manager. Alternatively, you can also just go ahead and hit the Windows key and type in task, and it'll come up right here as task manager, and you can click that. It'll bring you to the same thing. So what we're going to go ahead and do is click this little dial right here, the speed gauge like in your car. However, if you're on Windows 10 or an earlier build of Windows 11, it'll be at the top and just say Startup Items or Startup Apps. So what you can do is sort by status, and here you're just going to go ahead and look over everything, see what apps you do and don't use. If you don't use an app every single time you start up your computer, make it as well. So I'm going to go ahead and close that, and on to step number 2. So for step number 2, it's adjust the appearance. So when you hit Windows, you can go ahead and just type that in, adjust the appearance, and it should come up with adjust the appearance and performance of Windows. So if you click that, it'll come up with this little white box. I've already changed these settings on my computer. I actually just did a recording of this, but found out that the entire time it was not recording properly. So now I've got to go through and redo all of this. But such is the way of life sometimes. So what you're going to do is just go ahead and hit adjust for best performance and click the bottom one, skip one, skip one, skip one. So just those 4 marks, it's not going to show anything different. If I go ahead and choose what the default is, you can see that there's not real performance difference. It just adds some shadows here and there which do absolutely nothing but slow down your computer. So just uncheck that and just go ahead and go to those 4 at the bottom with skipping in between, and as you can see, there's almost no difference in the appearance of Windows, but it does drastically increase the performance of the computer. So we can go ahead and hit apply, hit OK, and that's that for that step. So now on to step number 3. We can go ahead and adjust the transparency effects. So I'm going to go ahead and type in transparency and click that in the Windows menu. And from there you can see mine's already off. If I turn it on, it just makes the taskbar different colors and just makes it transparent. However, all that does is slow down your computer. It might make it look a little cooler. If you would like, you can keep this one on, but I personally like to turn it off because it does help with the menu performance and how fast Windows just runs in general. So I can go ahead and close that. And step number 4 is the mouse pointer. So if we hit the Windows key and we just type that, mouse pointer, at the top should be change the mouse pointer and display. Don't know what happened there. So type in mouse pointer, display, or speed, and right there you can go ahead and click that. It opens up this menu right here. Make sure to uncheck this box for enhance pointer precision. It does not enhance pointer precision. All it does is enable acceleration, which is a bad thing for mice. It just means that when you move your mouse slow, the mouse will not move far. When you move your mouse fast, it goes really far. So that just means that it makes it harder for you to click what you're trying to click, as well as uses extra resources on your computer to try and calculate how fast you're moving your mouse. You don't want this. Turn that off, and it'll make it so that no matter how fast or how far you're moving your mouse, it'll move the same distance no matter what. So if you're moving your mouse an inch on your mouse mat slow, will still move the same amount as if you're moving your mouse an inch going fast. So it makes it much easier for muscle memory to kick in and make it easier for you to aim in video games, for you to click what you're trying to click in documents or in web pages. It just makes your life so much easier. Now, if you turn that off and your mouse is too slow and you can't adjust the DPI on your mouse, which is a setting in a lot of gaming mice, Go ahead and adjust this slider to be faster or slower so that it's more comfortable for you to use, especially if you're used to having that checkbox on. You can turn that up a little bit, but just know that it will move the same speed no matter what, and that usually having it smack in the middle is going to be the most accurate experience for your mouse. So with that, that is it for that step, and we can go ahead and hit apply and hit OK. So the next step is going to be SFC. So this is one of the more advanced steps, but this does help. It'll find corrupt files in your Windows updates. So what you can do is hold down Windows key and press X, and it'll open up this menu, or alternatively you can just right click the Windows button and it'll also come up. You can open up Terminal Admin, or you can just type in CMD, run as administrator, or you can open up PowerShell and hit run as administrator as well. So all three of those will work. I prefer using the terminal that is built in with Windows 11 just because it's got these little tabs at the top and it's fun to use, and I like using features that I'm given for free. So what we're going to do is just type in SFC, I cannot talk today, and just scan now, all one word. So SFC space / scan now, one word. So you can just go ahead and hit enter on that. That'll go ahead and scan for corrupt files. I just scanned mine, so it should not show anything. I'm gonna go ahead and hit enter anyways. So while this scans, this will take a little while. Now, if you have a hard drive in your computer instead of an SSD, you'll want to run this overnight because it'll take forever to try and run. However, when you do run this on an SSD, it does tend to go a lot faster, and I'll show you how you can check that if you don't know here in just a moment. So, also, there are some steps to do if this does not work. Usually what you want to see is that it found corrupt files and fixed them, or it did not find any corrupt files and did not make any changes. If by chance you see that it found corrupt files and could not fix them, we are going to go into the next step, which is using DISM. So using DISM is going to be DISM /online /cleanup -image /restore health. Now what this is going to do is it's just going to make it so that it goes online, finds a known good copy of Windows on Microsoft servers, and makes sure that everything is there and fixed and going to work properly for you, and it just goes in and fixes that automatically, and then you can go ahead and run that SFC command again, and it should say that it fixed some corrupt files. So with that, that is it for both steps 5 and 6 for run that command, and then if it doesn't work, run DISM /online /cleanup image /restore health. So with that, that is it for that step, and now we can go into how to check if you have that SSD or hard drive. Now this is going to be one of the last steps, but we'll go over that when the time comes. But for now, you can just go ahead and check by typing defragment, click that, and it'll tell you right here if it's a solid state drive or if it's a hard drive. If it's a hard drive, go ahead and run this overnight. It will take a lot longer, but if it's a solid state drive, you can go ahead and do it quick, just like I did here in this video. So with that, we're going to move on to step 7 and go to Windows Updates. To get there, you can either hit the Windows button and type in Settings, or you can also type in Update, and it'll see Windows Update Settings, or you can just press Windows I and hit Windows Update down at the bottom here. You want to make sure you're up to date. You can go ahead and click Check for Updates, and that'll go ahead and check that. As well as you can go into advanced options. Make sure all of these are checked right here unless you have a limited bandwidth on your Wi-Fi, like say you can only use a certain amount. So to make sure you're up to date, you're gonna go ahead and just look up here and it'll say you're up to date, or if you need updates, you can also go ahead and click check for updates. That'll go ahead and see if you're missing any, even if it says you're up to date, even if it says you're up, might just need to check. As you can see, I am in fact up to date. You can also go into advanced options for Windows 11 11 and look for optional updates. You see I've got 3 available. These are driver updates, so what you can do is just go ahead and click these 3 and you can go ahead and hit download and install, and I'm not going to go ahead and do that right now because I am in the middle of recording, but I will definitely do that after I am done recording. That way it can go ahead and say I have none available, and it will also say that I am fully up to date. So it will say you're up to date, but you should also make sure that you don't have any optional updates, because these are driver updates that you may in fact need. So that we can go ahead and close that up, and the next one is temporary files. So from there you can either continue in the settings menu where you're at Windows Update. You can just go ahead and at the top in find a setting, type in storage, and then from there you can click here. You can see temporary files. So go ahead and click that. I don't have a lot here because I just cleared mine. So what you can go ahead and do is just hit remove files. Don't check anything else off. Just go ahead and hit remove files. It'll automatically show you the good to remove. It doesn't help with performance right away, but it does help in general over time. So that is the next step. I'm not going to remove mine because I just removed mine and just went over all of that. So my computer is all set on that front. Now the last one is defragmenting and optimizing drives. So what you're going to do is go ahead and hit the Windows button and type in defrag, and that will bring up this, which you can click, and it is optimize drives. Now for here, it'll tell you if you have a solid state drive or a hard disk drive, like I had mentioned in the previous steps for doing the SFC. So for what this is doing is it just takes all the drives and trims unnecessary or unused data from the drive, makes it so that it can run a little faster, makes it so that it can find the information it's looking for. If it's a solid state drive, you can just go ahead and click optimize. It should run fairly quickly. It'll run faster depending on the size and how fast your drive actually is. I've just optimized these, so I'm not going to go ahead and redo the second one. However, if you have a hard disk drive, this is something you will want to do overnight. This will take a couple hours on a hard. So all of these tips have been free, except for what I'm about to recommend, and that is upgrading from a hard disk drive to a solid state drive. If you have a hard disk drive in your system, they drastically slow down computers, and Windows 11 is not made for hard disk drives. So if you're running Windows 11 or even Windows 10 or even Windows 7, any operating system can drastically improve just by upgrading from a hard disk drive to a solid state drive. It is only $50 to $100 and will make your computer a world of difference. It's only $50 to $100, so upgrading it is very cheap and effective, and is often one of the best upgrades you can possibly make to your computer. Even in an older computer that's got years old hardware, I've seen it make drastic differences in the performance and just the way the computer behaves in general. So with that, that is the final upgrade step. It's not necessary, but highly recommended. But as long as you follow these other 9 steps, you can go ahead and just make your computer faster for free. And just go ahead, and if you have any friends that are struggling with their computer's performance, go ahead and share this video to them. It should be able to help them out a lot. I used to work for Geek Squad, so that actually these are steps that professionals use to make computers faster, and you can just go ahead and do them at home for free. You don't have to bring your computer anywhere or to anyone. These are things that you can easily do yourself. So with that, if you guys liked this video, which I really hope you did, just go ahead and leave a thumbs up, and if you want to subscribe for more content like this and leave in the comments what you guys would like to see next, go ahead and let me know, because I really appreciate you guys' feedback, and I wish you guys all a great day, and I hope you guys all can notice the difference in your faster computers. So that, we'll see you guys in the next one.